Now that I've gotten into heavier weightlifting, I am starting to appreciate the rest days that I'm taking. In the past, I would work out 5 days a week and I'd feel like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. I'm putting in all this work. I'm getting it done. Rest wasn't a major thing for me. I didn't care about rest days. And it was hard for me to even take Saturday and Sunday off for my rest days and just feel like I appreciated them. So it was even harder for me to establish a new routine to where I'm actually taking even more rest days, right? So on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, those are the days where I'm doing my absolute heavy lifting. I'm talking about to the point where the workout that I plan to do that day, I can only get halfway through it because I am definitely tiring my muscles out to the point where I'm like, I can't even go anymore. I'm too tired to even continue this workout. Like, I definitely do really try and hit those heavy weights now, and I don't hold back. For instance, so the workouts you're going to see at the 4 something minute mark that I put on the video, you're going to see me doing my leg workout, okay? Now, mind you, I plan to do what I did here on this video, plus even more. But by the end of the video, by the end of my leg workout using the Olympic bar, after 4 different exercises, I felt like I had reached failure to, my muscle groups. And I just could not continue the workout. And in addition to that, I had added in cardio. 1 minute of cardio basically in between every, set that I did. And by the time I finished those 4 exercises, I was huffing and puffing. And I'm like, I cannot do anymore. I actually physically cannot do anymore. Like, I knew that my body was burnt out to the max. And I told myself, okay, I've done a lot. I've done a lot of work here. And I have to be okay with not finishing my workout. So I ended the video basically. I felt like I'd done all that I could do. And so I stopped. I went in, I did the workout in the garage, but once I went in my home, I felt so tired to the point where I knew that I needed to eat something, right? Because I think you're supposed to eat after you work out, right? If I'm wrong, someone down below in the comment section, let me know. But I'm pretty sure after such an intense workout like that, I'm supposed to refuel my body, right? So that's what I did. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't feel bad about that. What I feel bad about is the fact that once I fixed my food, it was some chicken and pasta. Once I fixed my food, I was too tired to even eat it. Like, I sat the food down after I finished making it, and I just sat down to take a break. Just to feel like I needed to catch my breath. Not catch my breath, but I just felt like I just needed to rest. Because my body was like, oh my goodness, my body was such in major exhaustion mode. So I just sat down to take a break with my food sitting beside me. And after I rested for about 5 minutes, I said, oh, I forgot. I need to eat this food over here, right? So I could barely pick the plate up. I'm trying to give y'all a visual representation of how tired I was. Before I started the workout, I felt just fine. I was ready for the workout. I was happy, excited about the workout. But then, I picked the plate up. I felt like I was too tired to eat. But I said, no, I have to eat this. My body is begging me to eat this, okay? My body was like, come on now, give us something to eat. Refill these muscles, okay? So I ate the food. I felt a lot better. And I think I finally know what it feels like to exercise to failure. So if some of you out there who don't know what it means to exercise to failure, let me tell you what it is. But before I get into telling you all what exercising or weightlifting to failure is, let me tell you all this part of my story. So if you watched my previous leg workout video, what I did was I would do 10 reps. I would do 10 reps and then I would drop down to a lower weight, do 10 reps and then I drop down to a lower weight, right? That workout felt great. So for this particular leg workout this week, what I did was I put 25 pounds on each side of my Olympic bar, okay? So the Olympic bar weighs 45 pounds. So 45 plus 50, that's 95 pounds. May sound like lightweight to you all out there who do this, who have been doing this for years, but I still rate myself as an absolute, well, not an absolute beginner, but in the beginner phase of, weightlifting, because I took off for a very long time after, having children or whatever. And you all know my story. If you don't know my story, watch some of my past videos. So that was basically 95 pounds for me, okay? So instead of me, putting the 25 pounds on each side and then dropping the weight with every set of 10 reps, what I did was I just left the 25s on each side, okay? I just left it there. So I do 10 reps, do a jog for about a minute, and then I'd go back to do 10 more reps with that same weight, 95 pounds, and then I'd jog for a minute, and then I would do the third set for 10 reps with the 25s on each side. So I felt like even going through, if you're watching this video and you're seeing me do my workout, so even when I was halfway through, my set of 10 reps, I felt like I couldn't, get through the entire 10 reps without pausing. And you'll see me pause in some of the weightlifting that I'm doing here. And that's because even from the jump, I felt like, oh, this is kind of intense. This is really giving me a great workout. And it felt wonderful. It felt great, to feel like I was challenging myself and putting in this work. Because, why work out if you're not going to challenge yourself? And that's the great thing about working out. You're constantly challenging yourself to do more, to be better, to accomplish your goals. And I'm going to get on accomplishing your goals and being consistent to my viewers in a little bit, because I'm starting to realize some of y'all have fallen off of your New Year's resolutions. Y'all have fallen off, and I can tell. And I just want to encourage y'all to keep going, keep pushing through. This isn't the time to quit. You've probably made some progress, since January 2025, but I can tell some of y'all have fallen off. Some of y'all have given up. Some of y'all probably feel like, I messed up. I missed a few days of exercising, and, I give up altogether. Come on, y'all. We're a third of the way through the year. This is not the time to quit, okay? There's still more to reach. There's still more goals to accomplish, okay? So I'm talking to y'all viewers. I know you hear the sound of my voice if you clicked on my video. If you haven't gotten to the point of where you're at no return and you just totally given up on watching fitness videos and, you're still here, okay? So if you're listening to the sound of my voice, I get it. I get it. That hype of the New Year's resolution is gone, okay? But stick with it, okay? So let me explain to my viewers what it means to exercise to failure. Weightlifting to failure means performing an exercise until you physically can't complete another repetition with good form. It's the point where your muscles are fully fatigued and you can no longer effectively, contract under the current load. For example, if you're doing dumbbell curls and you aim for 10 reps, but by rep 10, your arms are shaking and you can't do an 11th rep without compromising your form. That's lifting to failure. So if you see me in this video, I'm getting like halfway through the set and I'm thinking about kind of being lazy on my form, and I just take a little break, I pause, and then I continue on, okay? I really felt like when I got to that 10th rep, like, come on, 10th rep. Come on, let's get this over so I can put these weights down and move on to my resting phase, okay? So there are two common types, okay? You have technical failure and absolute failure. Technical failure, you stop when your form starts breaking down. even if you might be able to squeeze out more reps with bad form, okay? Absolute failure is when you keep going until you literally can't lift the weight anymore, even with effort and strain. So I reached a state of technical failure. It felt really, really good, okay? So that's kind of what my fitness journey seems to be shifting into now. And I always tell y'all there are so many different phases to your fitness journey. You're not always going to stay the same. You're going to get to a point where the exercise you chose to do when you got started with your fitness journey, you're going to overcome that by your consistency of meeting your goals, okay? By continuing to work out and continuing to push yourself. And ultimately, your body's going to get to a point where it just feels too easy, okay? That workout that used to make your body so sore when you first started your fitness journey, it's going to get to a point where it's going to feel so easy that you're going to have to start switching things up, okay? Your body's going to get so familiar with it that you're just going to have to find another level of, goals that you're going to have to reach, okay? So I know that may sound kind of crazy to any beginners out there, someone out there who hasn't gotten started yet. Just know that when you finally get started, you're going to feel like walking that 1 mile is so exhaustive and you don't know how you're going to continue to do that 1 mile every single day. I've been there. I've done that. After about, and let me tell y'all this part of my journey. In 2024, January of 2024, I began walking a mile a day, okay, with no days off, okay? I said, I've gained 30 pounds and I've got to start doing something to get myself back on track. So I made a commitment to myself that, hey, I'm going to walk this 1 mile a day, every single day. I don't know if I'm going to lose weight. I just know that the state that I'm in right now, I can't stay there. I couldn't stay there because my mobility was being, affected. My ankles were so swollen that once I got out the bed in the morning time, it hurt to walk. My thighs hurt so bad. I was just so out of shape. I couldn't even chase behind my children, right? So I just started walking them 1 mile a day. And there was a point after about 7 days, a week of doing that walking, I told myself, this is too hard. I thought this would be easier than what it is. And I said, I don't know if I can keep doing this, right? So I kept on doing it and I didn't quit. And then eventually I got to another point in my fitness journey where my knees just began to hurt and ache and feel so horrible that I didn't know if I was going to be able to keep walking. But you know what? I pressed through it. I got some different shoes. I got some better shoes. And that helped the situation. And I was able to keep going. So you're always going to run into a roadblock in your fitness journey that you feel like is going to be your point of no return, your point to where you're not going to show up for yourself the next day. But let me tell you, it's in the showing up that you're going to conquer and accomplish the goals that you're trying to get to. It's in the showing up and the consistency that you're going to be able to add more weight to your workout the next week to come. It's in showing up for yourself that you're going to see what you're actually capable of. And that's what you've got to realize. If you feel like you get into a point in your journey where, oh, this workout is boring, I don't want to do this anymore, switch it up. Find something new to do. Find something else that you enjoy doing. Find, add some more weight, add some different cardio, add a different level of weightlifting. Because I started off just walking a mile a day for like 11 months, right? And then I added in 20 hours of fasting a day and weightlifting 20 minutes, 5 days a week, as well as walking 2 miles a day instead of 1 mile a day. Okay, that really helped me to push myself to another level in my fitness journey. All right. So now that I've gotten to, so basically from January 2024 until end of November 2024, that's when I was walking my 1 mile a day. And then from December 2024 until March 2025, that's when I was walking my 2 miles a day. And also doing my 20 minutes of weightlifting Monday through Friday. And now getting to March of 2025, it's currently April 2025. But in March 2025, I felt like I had the urge to push myself even more. Those 20-minute weightlifting sessions that I was doing, I was getting pretty bored and I felt like I needed to start adding more weight. So then I started adding in my 15-pound dumbbells instead of doing all my workouts with 5-pound dumbbells. And let me tell you, the push was my encouragement. the push, even though it was harder for me to do it, it was my encouragement that, hey, I'm capable. Man, I was just lifting only 5-pound weights, for the past 3 months. But now I can do the 15-pound weights. Even though it's super hard for me to do it, even though I'm kind of dreading going and doing the workout because I know it's going to be tough, that, just pushed me to do even more and even more and even more. That made me want to get into, start changing up my workout. And thank you to my viewer who realized, hey, you've been doing the same workout for a good while now. I think it's time to switch it up. So thank you for mentioning that to me, because, sometimes we try to hold on to things and we just won't start. We only want to do the easy stuff, right? But I think you saw that, the easy stuff, it was too easy for me, right? And I was just looking like I was a pro at it, right? So I finally took the advice and I began to switch up the workouts. And not only did I switch up the workouts, I finally started taking some rest days that were much needed, okay? So now here I am in April 2025. And so in April 2025, my workout looks like this. I'm working out 3 days a week. I'm exercising to failure. I am lifting weights to failure now. So that really, really can show you, hey, she's putting in some effort. She's putting in some work. She's really, really pushing herself now. And so that's the point of my videos, because I want people to understand there's different levels to everything in life. So if you're on a fitness journey, there's different levels to your capabilities. If you're on trying to correct your eating habits, there's different levels to correcting your eating habits. So let's take a glance at my eating habits and how they've changed over the years. Not the years, but since I got into my fitness journey, January 2024. So in January 2024, I was walking that 1 mile every single day, stuffing my mouth with fast food and everything I can get my hands on. I didn't care. I made this, excuse in my head that, hey, I'm walking 1 mile a day. I'm doing good for myself. I can eat whatever the hell I want, right? And let me tell y'all, my weight did fluctuate. I still lost weight, but I wasn't making much progress, to be honest with you. So I ate any and everything that I wanted. I was in a drive-through restaurant 4 days a week with my children, because, taking my children to their extracurricular activities and running them around, I made this excuse in my head that, hey, there's no time for me to fix them anything to eat. So let me go through the McDonald's drive-thru. Let me go through the Chick-fil-A drive-thru. Let me stop at Wingstop. Let me, get Domino's pizza. In my mind, it made sense at the time. But my health was still deteriorating. I'm still experiencing high blood pressure. The weight wasn't coming off. I wasn't, even though I was walking 1 mile a day, I just felt like, okay, why isn't the weight coming off? And I know why. I knew why. Okay. So at that point in time, I didn't give a crap about what I was eating. I didn't care how I was eating or anything like that. So eventually I got to a point in my fitness journey where I got into fasting. And so fasting 20 hours a day, I was still eating horribly. I was not eating for 20 hours. And then when I'd come back, to eating at 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., I would stuff my face with junk food. Okay. I wasn't focused on nutrition levels. I wasn't focused on drinking enough water. I wasn't focused on, hitting my vitamin intake for the day. I wasn't focused on hitting my nutrient levels for the day. I wasn't focused on, am I eating too many carbs? Am I eating enough protein for the day? I didn't give a crap about any of that, okay? I still lost some weight, and like I said, my weight was still fluctuating, okay? And I wasn't making the progress that I wanted to see. So after I had enough of that, I stopped fasting because I realized it was affecting my blood pressure. And anytime I would go ahead and eat, my blood pressure would kind of, calm down, settle down. So I got back into the habit of eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I wasn't really caring about what I was eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but I was trying to care about what I was eating. And then my viewers gave me some pointers on how to eat better. So I started focusing on how to eat better. I was like, okay, this does make sense. I'm doing all this hard work. I might as well make sure that I'm eating right, right? So I started eating right. I started hitting my protein levels. I started making sure I wasn't eating too many carbs. I started making sure that I was hitting enough nutrients for the day, right? And I'm thankful to my viewers. I will always be thankful to my viewers. Thank you all for showing up and offering the encouragement and the motivation. Hey, I know I'm a content creator, but this is real life for me, okay? I'm just sharing my real life, hiccups and everything like that. So I thank you all for being here. So focusing on my eating habits has definitely shown me how horrible my eating habits was. So there's always different levels to anything you're trying to achieve in life, whether it be your, weight loss, the weight on the scale, whether it be, hitting a certain amount of weight when you're doing your reps, whether it's your capabilities of going from walking 1 mile to 2 miles a day, everything has, challenges, and you're always going to be evolving. So when you reach this state, this mindset of boredom and feeling like you're not doing enough, just take it to the next level. And you're going to prove to yourself that you are doing enough and that you are making gains and that you are making progress, okay? So I hope you all have enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you all next time. Bye-bye.